Our kids are splitting atoms now without knowing how to see, breaking down our existence and selling it for parts because we forgot to teach them about the magic of wholeness and the pulsing harmony of 7 billion human hearts. And a server in the sky might read my DNA, but does it know what makes me cry fury into the bleak black obscurity between human civilization and our plastic creations? While we sat, soaking wet in flooded fields of food, waiting for our governments to bail us out, hundreds of thousands of our siblings in East Africa were dying of thirst and fleeing from drought. And while scientists scramble to find a quick fix to this chaos, we are dying of disconnect down here, paralyzed by fear, too numb to cry, too busy to dream. The bus just stopped on Albert Street, and someone in apartment 36B thought she heard God scream. In the Aamjiwnaang First Nation, on St. Clair River in Ontario, there is only one boy born for every 2 girls, and the smokestacks of the surrounding oil refineries continue to burn defiantly. Aamjiwnaang and her children bearing the brutal human cost while we wait for science to determine the precise origin of this loss. And every time I use plastic or oil produced by Shell or Esso or DuPont or Dow, I am complicit in this. Every time I drive or turn on the lights, I participate in this scientific experiment on human life. This truth can suffocate. Like the toxic smoke rising from Chemical Valley can render my dreams asthmatic, my creativity barren. Heavy with culpability and desperate for light, sometimes the only way out is to write, pouring inky empathy onto page after page of old growth. In the bleak black immensity of the world's current woes, my efforts often feel futile, laughable, selfish, and small. My writing will not overhaul capitalism, nor patch up the ozone layer. It will not return 50 million climate refugees to their homes, nor single-handedly realign the destructive values of an entire civilization. My writing will not save the world, but it might save me. It might keep me breathing, alive, awake enough to dream and bold enough to cry. A sunflower would never consider not blooming because her siblings were going extinct. She might feel their loss in herself, but she would still grow, channel grief into pollen, and with the help of the bees and the wind, continue spreading seed. So in the name of all of our siblings who have died from colonization, climate disaster, hunger, and war, in whose deaths we are all complicit, let us nurture our inner innovator, artist, or kook, continue to cook and protest and dance and knit and love. For the sake of the earth and all of her abundant glory, let's stop hiding behind wilted, guilty reflections of who we ought to be.